This is your entertainment ticket. We're here in Davie, Florida at the Movico Theater where they're about to show The American Teen. It's a film that's it's going to be coming out in August, but in the meantime, a local school here called Cypress Bay High School is going to be hosting the screening. And you know why? Because they're on MTV. They're on a program called The Paper. And we have some of the actors from The Paper here tonight, and they're going to give us a little insight on their paper and a little bit about why they're here hosting American Teen. I'm John Delia with your entertainment ticket, and I have with me tonight Amanda, and she's with that great MTV sensation, The Paper, which is with Cypress Bay High School, which is here right in South Florida. We happen to be at the screening at the Movico of American Teen, which doesn't even come out till August, and they got to see it in advance. So I'm talking to Amanda, and you probably recognize her from MTV. Amanda, what did you think of the film?
I thought it was a really interesting, unique film, and I think that it'll get a great response when it does come out in August.
Can you associate it all with the film?
I can. I see similarities between myself and some of the characters. I kind of have to pick and choose from certain characters because, I mean, you know, none of them fit my personality completely, and that's...
Well, we all know you, Amanda, and I don't think anybody fits your personality.
I'm going to say thank you.
Tell us a little bit more about it. I mean, you know, the characters in the... Do you think they chose the right characters to follow for the year?
I think they chose a group that was the right characters to follow. They all had interesting quirks about them, something going on in their lives. I mean, there were some surprises in there, like the suicide of the sister of one of the girls. And, you know, as the movie went on, we learned a little more about them and why they are the way they are. And it was interesting to see that they all wanted to get out, for the most part, of Indiana. It's kind of, I'm aching to get out of Florida. That was one big similarity that I saw, was wanting to spread your wings and fly away. So.
Are you headed for college? I mean, have you chosen which college?
I am headed toward New York University.
There you go, New York University. She's on her way. Watch out.
So, yeah, be careful.
And what do you want to study there?
I'm going to study journalism. Oh. Surprise! And I would like to work on their newspaper. Maybe the Washington Square News.
Oh, there you go. There you
Perhaps.
Go. Tell me a little bit more about the film itself. Do you think that it's going to be great for wide audiences, or you think just the teens are going to go watch it?
I think the film is interesting for all sorts of ages. Mm-hmm. I think there's a little piece of everyone in the film, and you can find that whether you're an adult or a teenager.
Well, great, Amanda. Thank you so much for taking the time to be an interview here.
Thank you
and say hi to Entertainment Ticket.
Hi, Entertainment Ticket.
We have another guest tonight, and luckily, we have the advisor of The Paper, and she's a regular teacher at Cypress Bay, but she's also the advisor that takes care of all these kids. You've seen it on MTV, you've seen The Paper. Well, here's the real thing. Here is Mrs. Weiss.
Hi, nice to be here.
Well, I'm glad to have you here. Tell us a little bit about the class. How do you control them, number one?
Well, a big part of the class is that it's supposed to be workshop style, which means we try to run it just like a newsroom where the students are basically in charge of their own responsibilities. I'm there to keep a loose hand on things and to point them in the right direction, but really it's all about growing into the position and taking the responsibility for themselves.
Well, that's great. I've been watching the show off and on. In the 5th season, I see that Amanda has really taken control. Is she really like that in class, too?
The kids, obviously, they've condensed so much footage into just a matter of minutes for each episode. So what you're seeing of all of us is really just little pieces of each of us. So to say, is that what she's really like? Well, a piece of her is really like that, but that's not the whole Amanda.
That's not the whole Amanda,
right.
Huh? Oh, I was hoping she was, because she's my favorite. I could see how she can really stand out in the show.
Oh, well, I think you'd like her other parts, too.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. And but tell me a little bit more about some of your favorites.
Well, teachers can't play favorites, so I
was hoping you'd say you had some, but go ahead.
Well, no, I obviously as a teacher, I always want to be unbiased and treat all of them the same, give them all the same opportunities. You know, there are different challenges with each student, of course, at different times, but overall, they're a great bunch of kids.
Do you grade your students?
Oh, absolutely. They have to get grades. It is a class, so they do get grades, yes.
And is Amanda an A student?
I cannot reveal her personal grades to you. I'm sorry.
Amanda almost got that for you. Almost got that for you. Now, tell me a little bit more about why this all came about.
Well, one of the students saw an online audition posting for the show at the end of last year, actually the middle of last school year, and said, oh, can we do it? Can we try out for it? And of course, you know, you're thinking at the time, oh, okay, you know, it's not going to happen, but we have to ask the principal first. And the principal also said, oh, okay, you know, we're all just thinking this is never going to happen. And then each level of the process, we made an audition tape of ourselves, not really knowing what we're doing, just kind of videotaping us doing our thing, a deadline. And each time they cut it down, they narrowed it down, the different people applying, and they picked us. And even then, once they came and filmed the pilot, they weren't sure that the show was going to be green-lighted, but it got, over the summer, it did, and then they came down full force in the fall to start really serious filming.
That's great. I mean, do you guys like get any remuneration or monetary?
The main cast members each did have to sign an extensive contract. They and their parents were responsible for that, so I don't have the details of that.
You don't have the details.
Right.
So they did sign contracts. So they're basically actors, but at the same time, they're real.
Well, they were employees. I wouldn't know that they're necessarily actors. Those are two different things. So they did sign a contract, but they were being themselves.
That's great. Tell us what you think is going to happen in episode 6. Can you give us a little bit about it?
Well, to be honest with you, they have not let us see anything in advance. I see it when it airs just the way you do. So, you know, we know what was shot, but so much was shot, what's been cut down and edited and put together, I couldn't honestly tell you, other than what I've seen in the trailer that they've just put online on the site.
Well, thank you, Mrs. Weiss. I appreciate you giving us some time. I hope the questions weren't a little bit too off-kilter for you.
That's
but
fine.
I really appreciate you being here.
Your entertainment ticket. We're here to interview some students who's doing a wonderful thing with MTV. What's your name?
Dan Sergen.
And what do you do?
I'm a staff writer for my school newspaper, The Circuit.
And The Circuit, this is going to be on MTV, right?
Yeah, it's called The Paper. The newspaper on it is called The Circuit.
What is it about?
It's about the ups and downs teenage journalists go through on their school newspaper. We have a very prestigious newspaper, so it was all captured on film.
Really? For how many weeks?
Towards the end of last year, a couple weeks last year, and then through half the school year this year.
Did you enjoy that experience?
Yeah, it was very interesting.
Wow, that sounds good. I mean, when I went to high school, we didn't have anything like that. Are you going to get paid for this?
It's up to MTV.
Oh, really, right? Oh, that's great. Now, you really work for the newspaper at your school, right?
Right.
And what's the name of your school?
Cypress Bay.
And what are you, junior, senior? What are you?
I'm a senior. I'm graduating to like a few days.
Wow, and you're going to go to college, right?
Yes.
And what's going to be your major?
Right now the plan is journalism.
That's what I figured. That's a great profession, believe me, because I've been in the journalism for a long time myself. Now, what motivated you to get involved with this project?
The show?
Yes, the show.
Well, pretty much they came in, we all signed our little papers, and they said if, they said, here's a contract, you want to be featured on this television show, and I'm a student journalist, and being on a show about newspaper was a good opportunity for me, so I signed the contract.
Yeah, that's a great opportunity for you.
Yeah.
And what do your parents think of this?
My parents are thrilled. My oldest brother's graduated college. My second oldest brother's a NCAA football player, so I had a lot to live up to, and I'm trying to pull it off at the TV show.
And tonight we're watching a documentary of this show being made, or what's the documentary about, you know?
Well, I haven't been told much about the movie. All I know is called American Teen, and we're going to go watch the movie in a little bit and find out what it's all about.
All right, that's great. Well, we'll talk to you after we see the documentary, all right?
All right.
And thank you for being on Your Entertainment Ticket.
Thank you.